Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 32 of Kenshi. So last episode we got the walls done, which will allow my primary fighting force to leave the base if they so wish, which is pretty cool. But I also wanted to go over some quick tips. Ron Van Dorp mentioned that I really ought to maybe train up my lockpicking and sneak and assassination skills. So that's a very good point. I can put those facilities in the watchtower once it's done. Then Age the Mage and Larcy Pollock mentioned that my stone processor was only at 30% efficiency, but I'm going to upgrade it, so that's a moot point now. Larcy Pollock also mentioned that my miners are in the dark. So I'm going to put little electrical torch posts next to where they are mining. And that way, if we could get it closer... Jesus, the pathing on that is great. That way the miners are a little bit more efficient. I guess Molly is in the bright here. But then my processors additionally are in the dark. We don't want that. We want them running at full speed. Once we have everything nice and built, we can sort of lay everything and illuminate it properly, but that will have to do for now. And then Chromology also mentioned one last tip, which was... in case I don't accidentally buy something I don't want, put the important research on the researcher or really anywhere else to prevent accidental research to be done. So now what I'm doing here is having all of my sort of support crew. Bard, what do you have that for? All my support crew is dropping off. He was probably constructing with it, wasn't he? They're dropping off their backpacks because I'm going to have my main crew pick up the backpacks. So I have some stuff to put away. Steel bars and the like. And then with my main crew, I plan on picking some fights. Oh, speaking of fights, here's some Fogmen now. Ask and I will receive. Ron Van Dorp also mentioned that I ought to do one other thing, which is queue up medic and rescue on everyone. So I'm going to do that all on my main crew. I should probably not be getting rid of their engineering, so I'll put that back. And that way, this way we will be getting everyone sort of treated and rescued. Now there is, because I am in the terrible cannibal territory, one of the issues is that I might actually want to rescue first and then medic. And the reason being is there's a possibility of, being captured. And sometimes it's best to take someone out of danger as soon as you can. Medic, rescue, engineering. Now, this doesn't include splint. As soon as I have someone to splint, I can add that as well. I'm not going to have splint kits on everyone because they'll fill up room and the like. And then, of course, I don't necessarily have medic kits on everyone either. So that's another separate issue that I'm not going to worry about just yet. And there's a whole lot of task queuing. I'm going to leave Pingu behind. Pingu is an adult, but not an elder. Still not quite the run speed of anyone else or everyone else. So, lagging behind a little bit. I'm not sure this lighting has really effectively worked. I might need to build improved lights. It did here, at least. Speed time up a bit. And unpause the watchtower. Now that we don't have any construction projects Another thing I need to do is anyone that doesn't have a backpack will, well, ideally what I want is everyone to have two. A wooden and a thieves. And I'm going to fill them up left to right. And we can keep the wooden one in the thief backpack. I'm going to share some med supplies. And then Ruka doesn't have a thief backpack. And this will allow me to know who I need to buy for. And all the people with backpacks can also carry sleeping bags. Obviously, you can sort of get the hint that I am planning to go do something. Obviously. I'm going to go on a little bit of a safari. Oh, we already got one of those. Alright. And then checking the rest of these guys. Hamit will give that to Oron. Hobbs will give that to Voth. So, if you see here, all up until Voth, we pretty much have everyone kitted the way we want them. More or less. And then Oron needs a wooden backpack. Here's one. So now Oron's all kitted up. The problem with Oron is no helmet. So that's another issue we're going to have to solve. Ideally, what we would do is solve it by getting chain armor crafting. I don't think we have the science books. I'll check. Doc. No, we don't. We need to get some more. I can always buy it in the meantime. Let's go through and check. Crumble has... I don't mind him having the meds, but no sleeping bag. Stubbs has a bunch of toothpicks. We definitely have some more toothpicks. So let's load them up. And then Green was our other shooter. Let's definitely load Green up, as he's primarily the shooter. So we've done a pretty good job of emptying everything out. Beep has... Oh, Beep. Let's not encumber you unnecessarily. Alright. That looks about right. Now everyone's going to put their... King's putting his medical stuff away. I'll have Rhadamant Sherpa it for now. Sherpa a whole bunch of stuff. Alright, Rhadamant, go stand out here. All of them are going to be taking off jobs. And then the people with backpacks are going to be given extra sleeping bags. I have Rhadamant doing the Sherpaing because I know that he can carry it all, but that's not necessarily true for everyone else. Alright, Pingu here. You are going to be dumped from the squad. It's no offense, but you just don't move at the speed that everyone else does. And I might want to... I'll close the gate. Cut my teeth on a death yard. I'll go at least scout it. So who is the slowest moving person in the group? That is another question I have to ask. Most in the 20s. Stubbs is weighted down. Oh, Stubbs, you're weighted down for a good reason. You have a lot of random stuff on you. I'm just sort of sharing the meds. Alright, Stubbs, you're now full speed. 25. Beep. You definitely shouldn't be wearing that. We don't need to be... So I guess 20 is our lowest common denominator run speed. And that would be like weak A. Just making sure all the Shek run faster. I guess they do. That's pretty cool. 20 is a good speed. This death yard down here, for whatever reason, doesn't actually look like it has anyone. I don't recall wiping anyone out, but hey, I'll take it. So now the town back here is basically a ghost yard. So Dr. Chung, I'm going to set him up proper. Medic, rescue, engineering, stone processor. Shrike's still making armor. Molly's making weapons, but really she's just mostly mining. I'll have her mine the iron. Bard also will mine the iron when he has nothing else to do. Bark is a farmer. When you're not doing anything, mine copper. These home teams, I don't necessarily want to start training. Heft. When you're not doing anything, mine the iron. It's really easy to find idleness if you look. Alright, weak A. It'd be pretty... Oh, here we go. Is this just a random group? Ideally, I'd be aiming for Prince groups. But as you can see, it's kind of funny. I like snipe aggro. That didn't take very long. And the rest of them, we will attack all targets. While we run into position, there's a lot of sort of damage that we incur. There's better ways to go about it. We can let them come to us and sort of hold and taunt. But not a whole lot of injuries here. Stubbs, why are you over there? Oh, because you have a weapon, ranged weapon. Stubbs and Green are obviously plugging away. Yep, down he goes. They're having a little bit of a conversation. This looks like a very nice group to cut our teeth on. I also want to make my way out to the swamps so I can hunt for some food and really stockpile the raw meat. Here's a clash. It's not Prince's, but it'll be something. Now, the Princes usually show up to start consuming bodies first. Oh, wow, they are really adding to this group. All regular Fogmen. I think I'm okay for now. Even though I'm outnumbered like 2 to 1. Do a quick health check. Griffin is the most wounded. He's probably going to be the first one down. Don't chase. We don't need to. feel pretty good about that fight. That was a pretty large crowd. That was like a Death Yard level fight there. Even though it wasn't a Death Yard, per se. Alright. Let's go ahead and hold. I'm not sure there's anyone that needs splinting, but we'll apply some medicine if we can. I'm going to spread out the medical supplies. We'll have to start manufacturing this back home, too. Stubbs is shooting at someone. Don't know who it is. He's kind of a maniac. Some of these NPCs have sort of like maniac personalities, and Stubbs would definitely be one of them. Alright, we're all put together. Doing a quick assessment. I would say we're good to keep fighting a bit. I don't want to take on a huge group. But a little bit of training never hurt. Plus, killing these little dudes is fun. These little cannibal jerks. Alright, let's move on. As you can see, these stragglers are getting pretty sniped. So now we're in the valley of our fortress. If I just look up, as you can see, it's pretty cool looking. Dr. Chung, I'm gonna have you take engineering off, set you to passive, so that you crank out those building materials that we need. Someone's targeting you. Is it... It's just this little boo here. With no understanding of self-preservation. And now he's dying. Guess I'm sort of working my way into Mongrel. Not on purpose. I was just really looking for a fight. Looking to level up near home where we can heal up quick. If you set your community up in an area that is super safe, for instance, it's kind of hard to level up quickly because what ends up happening is you have to venture far away from your base to find a fight. So let's say you have an all-male, all-Greenlander community in the Holy Nation. Chances are the paladins are doing most of the fighting for you, and you don't have to fight much. Yes, you're limited in what you can recruit. Where are the death yards? All right, let me go venture far. I'll cluster everyone to walk together, and we'll look for a death yard. I did just do a big loop, though. I understand that. We're getting targeted. Oh yeah, here's a group. Still not a prince group, but take what I can get. Griffin's actually down. Oh no, he's sort of down. Alright, let's heal up. And then we'll pick bigger fights. Or maybe I'll go on a safari. I'll go hunting. That sounds valid. Alright, turn jobs on. And they're all gonna run to help build. Okay, well, some of them will heal, I think. What I can do is force Griffin, who particularly got beat up, to heal. Yeah, now there's a mad rush for beds. Alright. Getting the stone processor running. You can't tell me that you guys don't necessarily need a heal. They think they have jobs that matter. They don't. I don't really care what they do. Alright, looking at everyone. Some of the people that were most messed up are getting back to normal. They're obviously obsessing over the building materials. That's fine. God, that item furnace with its nasty smoke is gross. Crumble John making out of that with almost no problems at all. So I'm really just here until Griffin is, I guess Wing Wang is kind of hurt too. Oh, do they, yeah, they want a little vengeance? They upset? I came deep into their territory and messed them up real good? I guess we're gonna give Bard some work to do. Well, obviously Weekay and Sadneel are fine. That robo bed is very nice. So we might be able to find some beak things to pick a fight with. They're really, really tough. We might lose some limbs. But at this rate, prosthetics is definitely obtainable. We could definitely make some armor or weapons or something like that and manage to get some prosthetics out of it. And over the course of time, this tower will certainly be constructed, and that will be good too. So now I'm just checking to make sure there's no one that could more use the bed over someone that's currently in it. Because it did force some people to lay down. We're mostly just waiting on Wing Wang and Griffin at this rate. And I would venture to say that they're probably good enough. So I'm going to head south into Dreg. I'll head actually towards this high village. Let's all follow Weekay. So we don't all have to pathfind. Just he does. But he needs to hold up a sec. Now, unfortunately, unlike the other episodes I've had, there wasn't anyone getting consumed and murdered. That has been a very common theme. As it will always be when you're this close to the Fog Islands. Alright, there's, what, goats up here? With a handler. Is that Batai? No, it's Bland, okay. Batai was one that, oh, there's a little fight to hop in on. Not one that's particularly compelling, though. It'd be very hard for just some random hungry servants to pose any sort of threat to this group. This group rolls a little deep now. I'm certainly not tough. I just want to throw it out there. If you don't know a lot about Kenshi, one holy nation paladin could probably kill all of these guys without breaking too much of a sweat. It depends on how many harpoons on my walls I had. You know, if I had a base full of harpoons, then yeah, like, I might do a little bit better, but there are some enemies in this game that are just ridiculously strong. So definitely don't overestimate your own strength. Know your own strength. Measure it against your enemies. And don't bite off more than you can chew. Said there was some sort of nomad camp here, but clearly that isn't the case. Now, big thing, a big thing. Oh, fog is moving towards my outpost. Guess I gotta go home. The beauty is, I do have walls. They wouldn't really hold very long against fog. But once I have some turrets and some semblance of a defense force back home, it's not like the base will crumble immediately when attacked by the fog. I'm always on the lookout for princes as well. Oh, here they are. So they said they were moving on the base, but they're not. They couldn't even path inside. They're kind of just stacked here. I'm curious to see what they end up doing. So I'm actually going to steer my combat force away from them. And I will sit and watch. I want to know if they're ever going to think about coming inside. Some human raiders will just, like, bash down your wall, right? But the fog, I don't know about that. Alright, they're just sitting here. I'm not advancing my goals by waiting for them. So let's go ahead and murk them all. I wonder where their iron comes from. They sure have a lot of it. Oh. Griffin, your leg's not looking so good. Why are you getting beat up so much more than the other people? I don't think you have inferior gear. Griffin is an ex-Holy Nation. So he's a little, he still has a little bit of xenophobia left in him. Holy Nation are notorious for absolutely hating skeletons. So he made mention that he thought it was funny that a skeleton healed him. Oh, Rhadamant doesn't have a splint anymore. Who has the splint? Does no one have a splint? No one has a splint. Alright, hold on a second. He, like, dumped out gear through the wall or door or something. Alright, come on. There we go. Don't put that stuff back. And I'm trying to turn splinting injuries. Well, we'll splint his injury. Alright. Certainly not going to win any marathons, but I'm just trying to win this little fight. Alright, guys. You're welcome to attack. Kind of waiting for them, and I took the first few shots. Look at the one runner. Now, there's another way for me to draw out the princes, I think. I'm going to test a theory here. Green. These are your annoying brethren. Don't chase. Actually, green and stubs, now that I'm training stubs on crossbow, should always hold. So which one did I patch up? Some of them are just dead, outright dead. Let's patch up this one. Yeah, patching up the enemy. I know what you're thinking. Who are you trying to shoot? I'm so confused. Alright, pick him up. And head on down here. What, you wanted more? Nope, clearly you didn't. Oh god. Griffin's leg again. Griffin, why are you constantly the one I have to mess for? That is one dumb fogger. Splint rigging is one of Rhadamant's top jobs. I'm not exactly sure why I'm not doing it. Oh, did I get rid of my stuff? No, I still have it. Alright, Wing, just pick him up. I'm tired of moving slow. Put him down when we get there. It's like a... Oh, and that was the last of them. They're officially defeated. Alright, let's see if we can't find any, Death Yard poles. Ideally, I would find a whole damn Death Yard, but... if you can find a pole and put someone on the pole, you run the chance of triggering a prince to come try to consume the corpse. And I don't even really think the Fogmen care if it's not one of their own, which is why I'm carrying one of them. But I am a bit at a loss trying to find... here's the Death Yard, right? I found you, Death Yard. Fog Death Yard. Alright, so I set Rhadamant up to put him in prison. Ha ha ha. You are an enemy of your own state. Alright, let's put Griffin down. I guess Griffin's leg is braced. Camping. Camp beds. 1, 2, 3. While we see if my bait works, I can always just camp heal. Anyone that has splinted stuff will get healed first. I don't know, they're not taking the bait yet. Stubbs is shooting someone. They're trying to abduct Griffin. That's interesting. Didn't really work, though, did it? I guess that works as a lure. Just have one of your guys decide to stay as tribute and draw them out by abduction. I don't want to be slowly surrounded without me realizing it. That's another worry. Oh, Rain's actually legitimately knocked out. Yep, put her down. Oh, here we go. Now they're starting to stack up. I'm gonna have to put Rain on my own shoulders. Alright, burn. Pick her up. Thank you. And Ruka's down. Wing Wing, pick her up. I definitely baited out their force. But there's not a lot of people at this death yard. The death yard's pretty empty. As you can see, it's not living up to the death moniker it has pretended it has earned. I don't really see where they've gone. The death yard's not defeated. It's still here. They might be roaming elsewhere. It did say that there was 43 of them roaming elsewhere. Hello. Came in the wrong neighborhood. And you're a prince? I love it. Nothing like a prince just walking up and deciding to get slaughtered. I think it's because this fogman is locked up that we baited that prince out. I can't be sure. Causation and coincidence and all, but I'd guess that had something to do with it. Because they love to eat. The princes, I've noticed, are usually the first ones to feed. So here's the heavies that usually accompany the prince. Now, the prince is dead. I already took his head. I tore it off his body. Because that's how I roll. But what Rhadamant's going to do, just to mess with these guys, is to put as many of them up on posts as I can. It's also possible that I'll duck this heavy and use him as a training dummy. Although hivers don't make for very good training dummies because they're not very tough. Like if you really wanted to do it, you'd want a Shek training dummy. You'd want to go get like a crawl or something like that. Was this another prince? Nope, that's just more heavies. It's a little dark. Alright, Rain and Ruka are not unconscious anymore. So we can put them down. Ooh, this looks like another prince. Yep. Threatening to, or really offering them a meal draws them out, I'm pretty sure. It does seem to be the case here. So that's very cool to know. You can sort of lure them out. Let's splint the injuries of this buddy over here, and I'll pick him up. Now, I have sustained some damage and injuries. I do want to quit while I'm ahead, because people like Griffin here are definitely not in any condition to continue fighting. Their limbs are rightly pretty damaged. But it's good to know that I've come up with a way to sometimes draw out an enemy. Alright. Now we can move a little bit faster, and I'll head home. And there's another death yard off in the distance. I wonder whatever happened to the ones I put up on posts. Who's fighting over here? Escape servants? Alright, escape servants. Your fight is all your own. Well, guys, I'm well up over my time, so I'm going to end this here. If you have any feedback for me, I love it. I love all of it. Every suggestion I read, I respond to. I really enjoy it. It makes me a better player. So with that said, drop me a line. I do hope that you enjoyed this episode. I tried to give you all a little bit of action. Yeah, I didn't really go on the safari I intended to, but hey, I got some prince heads out of it, right? I'll have to catch you all later. Thanks you for watching. Adios.